Hey, 4xe fans, I have an experiment I've been wanting to do for quite a while. I actually kind of blew this one off for a while because of a conversation I had with Dan Fry from Jeep early on in the Jeep Wrangler 4xe thing. And that is to compare 2-high to 4-high auto. There's a conversation that takes place a lot in the 4xe fans group on Facebook, and I see it a lot in the comments here on YouTube about is 4-high auto can't be as efficient as 2-high, right? That's the question that a lot of people ask. And what Dan said the engineers found when they were designing and testing the 4xe was that there's really no difference, because in 4-high auto, the vehicle's kind of operating in two-wheel drive until it detects wheel slip. And so for the most part, it should be about the same. They detected no difference. And in my day-to-day tests in electric range, I see no loss of range in using 4-high auto versus 2-high. And so I want to test that over a longer period, because the short distance might not be enough to see it if there is a difference, which I don't think there is. But I'm being scientific about this and open-minded, and I'm going to test this the right way and see for ourselves. But I have to say, my thought is there's going to be no difference on the highway between the two modes. So we're going to take off. I just filled up with gas, and I'm going to go do about 75, 85 miles. We're going to pull off and fill up and test our fuel mileage at that point, and then switch into 4-high auto and do that same distance again and see if there's any difference at all. So thanks for being a part of this trip. Now, I am going to try to account for some variables. I'm setting the cruise control at 70 miles per hour. It's 68 degrees Fahrenheit out, and I'm going to try to avoid the vehicle doing any sudden acceleration or deceleration. I'm going to try to control all the variables as much as I can, but there are just going to be some variables, since I'm not doing the same stretch of pavement twice in this experiment. There are going to be some variables, but I'm hoping, since I'm in eastern Ohio and I'm past the really hilly section for the most part, I'm hoping those won't come into play, and I don't know, we'll just see how this plays out. All right, here we are at the end of our first leg. We went 81.6 miles. You see I got 0.6 of a mile in incidental electric and 81 miles in hybrid mode. And that was in 2-high. So we're going to get out and fill up and calculate our gas mileage and see what we got. All right, after filling up and letting Fuelie calculate the gas mileage, I did 81.6 miles, and I'm not sure how much fuel I pumped there. 4.182 gallons. That comes out to 19.6 miles a gallon. So that stinks, but that's what it got. So we're going to put it in 4-high auto. We're going to reset my B-trip odometer, and we're going to go do another 80-some miles and see what we get. All right, here we are at our last stop in our experiment. I've gone 84.6 miles. The dash says I'm getting 25.4 miles to the gallon. We'll fill up and do our calculation and see. All right, the results are in, and they're interesting. Very interesting. So we went 85 miles to the tune of, we used 3.578 gallons of gas. That resulted in a miles per gallon of 23.8 miles per gallon. So those numbers are skewed. And you would expect that the 4-high auto, if they were going to be, if it was going to be different, it would be drastically less than the 2-high, but it's actually a lot better. But I do believe my numbers are skewed, because I think the first quarter to a third of my 2-high that stretch that I did in 2-high was a little bit more hilly than the rest of it. I probably started the experiment a little too early on my drive, and I probably should have done a little bit later, but I wanted to get a good distance on both, and I wanted to get around 80 miles on each one, and but it actually panned out that 4 high auto got a lot better. But like I said, I think my 2 high numbers were skewed. So I think the jury's still not, I mean, I think we know it's just the same. It's just the same. I think that's the bottom line. It's the same, but gonna have to do this experiment again sometime. And you know, when I'm on a trip, this is when I do these things, when I'm on a trip anyway, and we'll have to see if I can get those numbers to be a little bit closer. And I don't know, probably have to go from Ohio over to Indiana, get more flat roads. So we'll work on that another time. But I think the end of this is there's really no difference in 4 high auto and 2 high, but we have to say the jury is still out on that until we can, because it definitely wouldn't be better. And so we'll do this again sometime and see how it works out. Thanks for watching.